I've been sleeping on this champion for way too long, and it's time to put him in to do some serious work in one of my Hydra teams. He is one of the best Hydra damage dealers in the game. I definitely think he is in top 15. He was a fusion last year, and I am talking about the Crazy Bunny, Bugs Bunny, Razelvarg, or however you guys like to call him. He's an absolute monster. In some cases, he can double your damage, guys, okay? So let me just quickly walk you through everything that you need to know. With the A1, attacks an enemy 3 times. This skill can hit for around 1.5 to 2 million damage on a decapitated head. If you have the increased attack and everything else that you need, he's dealing crazy damage, guys. With the A2, this is an AoE. He has a chance to put Leech. This is on a 3-turn cooldown, and this as well can hit in between 1 to 1.5 million on decapitated heads. Tons and tons of damage. Now, he is a very unique champion because his damage is based on attack and speed. The more attack, the more speed, the more damage you're going to get. If you have increased speed, if you have increased attack. So he's going to benefit from both of those things. Then you have the A3, which again is an AoE attack on a 3-turn cooldown. He brings increased speed, he brings increased accuracy, so he will help all of your team. And the passive will basically increase his speed by 5 for each speed placed by this champion up to 100. So he's gonna stack a lot of speed. He's gonna overlap some of the allies in your team, and he has a speed aura for all battles, which is what we want to see on all of the champions. Very helpful. Pretty good base stats: 15k HP, 1.5k attack, 1k defense, 110 speed. So overall, he's going to smack the Hydra. Now, how I think I mentioned it, if not, I just wanted to. I've been looking to bring in another damage dealer on my Brutal team. Currently, I am on the test server because I've already ran my key on Brutal on my main account, and that's why I have 1 million gems. Probably you're going to be like, Skratch, why do you have 6 Hydra keys? Well, because I'm on the test server. This is the team that we are running, guys. Usually, this is my team for the Hydra clan boss on Brutal, but instead of Razelvarg, I'm always bringing in a different damage dealer. I feel like every week I'm using a different champion, so I'm gonna keep him in there. You know, he's gonna take that main spot, and nobody's gonna take it away from him. Now, I only have a 1-star blessing. This team can work very well on auto as well. I do tend to manual most of my runs to maximize the damage. You guys know the drill, how it works with full auto teams. For Hydra, there's a lot of RNG. The champions might use the skills at the wrong moment, which will cost you quite a bit. Sometimes champions might die, who knows. So we're going to use Patrick for ally attack, increase attack, and of course we're going to get a cleanse, a bit of healing, thermometer boost. We're going to use Feral for block buffs on the enemies. We're going to get increased accuracy. We're going to get perfect veil, so we're kind of like shooting 2 birds with 1 stone. We have Lydia, increased speed. More increased speed, of course. We actually have 3 champions with increased speed. Defense down, weaken, more block buffs from her. We have Val the Destroyer, which is an absolute monster. Tons and tons of damage, guys. And as a provoker, I'm going to go with an Nargigante Archer just to be able to get a bit of extra healing, to have a consistent hex as well. If you don't have Nargigante Archer, maybe you have Krisk. He's a very solid replacement. Molly Tankard, she's another very solid replacement for her as well. Now, if you run it on auto, maybe you want to make a bit of a preset and just make sure you're kind of like prioritizing some of the skills on your champions to make sure they're doing the right thing, you know. So let's crack on it. Razelvarg is the lead. I wish I would have a 5-star or a 6-star blessing on him. I actually wish that I would have a 6-star blessing so I can go crushing Rand and literally double his damage. Like, he would deal so much damage like that. So this rotation is a bit different on the test server than on the actual game, guys, because we have different affinities on the heads, and the Nargigante Archer is weak affinity versus the Head of Decay, which needs to be provoked. We do have a couple of force heads in here, but they're not the biggest issue, honestly. So when you are running this on auto, guys, the champions might target the wrong heads. Sometimes they might not be decapitated. They might have the Toxic Cloud. They might have the Shield Barrier. The AI for Hydra is very bad. So the reason why I'm saying that is because you might have to retry the run a few times if you are doing it on full auto, especially if you're not doing any targeting on the heads or anything like that, you know. So for the moment, we are at 7.5 million damage, 6 turns, and we're gonna start smacking from here. Now, Razelvarg needs to stack up his passive, of course. We just dropped a 600k plus hit on the Head of Mischief. Keep in mind, the Head of Suffering will decrease the AoE damage. I think Razelvarg could be amazing on a Slayer set. Now, I don't personally have him on a Slayer set at the moment, because I just don't have the accessories for him to get him on a 9-piece Slayer set to really get the most out of it. He has 2 powerful AoE attacks, you know, which will overall bring a lot of extra damage. But like this, we have him on a Merciless set. I will show you the stats and everything else that you guys need to know at the end of the run, you know. But on a Merciless set, he ignores 35% of the target's defense. Now, when the Helm Smasher procs as well, we're actually going to get even more. Look at that, 800k, 600k. Of course, the Head of Suffering is decreasing our damage right now, and we still haven't fully stacked the passive to make sure we're gaining that extra speed, which will overall give us more damage. Unfortunately, I do not have any 9-piece protection sets on any of my champions. I wish I would have that on Lydia. I wish I would have that on Feral, but I'm missing the accessories, and hopefully one day soon I'm gonna be able to do it, you know, because it's such a bummer. You're missing out on so much damage. Some of you guys maybe are fortunate. You see, like right there, why did you ally attack the head with a freaking life barrier when you were able to attack the decapitated head? Now, the Head of Rat can be a tricky one. We have Val the Destroyer not only for the weaken guys and damage, but he will actually bring decreased attack as well. Now, I feel like right here we might be in a bad spot if we don't apply that decreased attack. There we go. We applied it straight before that. Block buffs is very, very important. If you don't have a Feral, that kind of like changes a bit the whole composition of the team, because you do need to bring in that block buffs. You need to bring in a different champion to help you deal with the Head of Torment, you know. Even though I have quite a few champions under Fear right now, usually I have the perfect Veil from Feral, and I'm in a much better situation, you know. Plus, I have the clans from Padrake, so that helps quite a bit. 50 million damage, turn 19. We're actually doing pretty well. Now, I'm gonna wait a little bit to make sure that Bugs Bunny is gonna stack his passive and he's ready to deal some serious damage. There we go. We got a bit over 600k with the A1 without defense down or weaken on that decapitated head. Of course, the Brutal Hydra has higher stats than Heart. If you decide to use him on Heart, you're gonna get probably close to double the damage that he's going to do for me in this run, you know. So there we go. We got that head down. We have Provoke on the Head of Decay, which is very, very good. 500k damage, 500k there without increased attack, without defense down on the decapitated head. So hopefully we're gonna apply that now with Lydia. 385k, 267. That was with Helm Smasher, the hit that dealt so much damage, you know. So whenever Helm Smasher procs, we're gonna see some nice numbers from Razelvarg. How I mentioned, I've seen hits from the AoEs of like 1.5 million damage, the highest on all of the heads. From the A1, I've seen hits of 600k plus per hit, which is definitely really solid. That brings in a lot of damage. Now, if you ask me, Skratch, who's better, Razelvarg or Val the Destroyer? Val the Destroyer is just a bit on a different level, you know. I think Val is definitely fitting in the top 10 best damage dealers, while Razelvarg, look at that, 570k, 554k, 490k. And that 490k was probably without the Helm Smasher. So it brings in a lot of damage. Now, the Head of Suffering decided to come out here again to kind of like ruin our mojo and reduce our AoE damage, which is fine, we're still doing pretty well. Turn 30, 80 million damage. Definitely not something to mess up with, guys, because this is a lot of damage. There you go. AI targeting the shielded head again instead of going for the Head of Mischief with that A3 Val and drop like 4 million damage instead of the 100k that you just dealt there. That's the problem with Oro, guys. Now, I do like to do Oro Hydra keys. Why? Because it saves me time, you know. I don't need to stay stuck to the computer, but you're losing a lot of damage. And that's with pretty much every single team in the game. It's just the way the AI is designed in this fight is not very auto-friendly, you know, and it's been like this since day one. I do remember that I mentioned a while ago that they are planning to make the AI better for the Hydra clan boss, but it doesn't seem like it happened. You know what? I'm gonna bug them off with that till they get it sorted, because it will be helpful. Now, probably a lot of you guys know my opinion on this. The turn count for Hydra is way too freaking long. You need to do 3 keys every week, and if you manual them, you gotta do 4,500 turns, okay? If you survive till the end with every single team. And that will be easily 3 hours. Now, we're not taking in consideration all of the retries as well. What I would like for Plarium to do for Hydra is to cut the turn limit in half. Either do it 750 turns, either do it at 1,000 turns. 1,500 is way too freaking long for this, you know? And like this, people will want to improve even more the teams to try and get even more damage in here, you know? Turn 40, 100 million damage. We're definitely not messing around. Of course, the RNG on the Head of Mischief decided to devour our champion while he's under a toxic cloud with no debuffs. Nothing to really stop him, you know? But that's fine. We have plenty of time to free our Val the Destroyer from there and take care of that Head of Mischief. You know what, guys? I'm gonna jump into the end of the run where we're gonna see the total damage. Then we're gonna go over builds. We're gonna go over masteries and pretty much everything that you guys might need to know about this team. It's definitely a pretty solid one, and yes, there are a lot of awesome legendaries in here. You can always change the composition of the team. The main thing is having a few damage dealers is essential if you really want to put big score in the Hydra Clash, guys. And the rewards might not be the best overall, but they're still very, very important, especially if you do PvP of any form. They're going to be very important. And keep in mind, this year, clan versus clan PvP coming to Raid Shadow Legends, and they will be even more important for that, leaving the side just the arena. So who knows, they might be bringing on some very awesome rewards with that, and you want to improve your Hydra teams, guys, you know, especially if you're playing the game kind of like more on the hardcore side rather than casual, just log in, open 2 shards, close the game, 1 week later you open it again, you know. If you're not just a regular casual player that's just messing around with the game, you kind of like want to improve on all of the areas, because overall it will benefit your account a lot. But you know what? Let's have a quick look at the total result. Here we are, guys. We are almost at the end. Seems like we're not going to make it to the turn limit. We lost Val the Destroyer around 200 turns ago, so the damage is not over 1 billion, how it should be. But that's kind of like the effect of running auto. If I would manual this run, I feel like I could get pretty close to 1.3, 1.4 billion with the current builds that we have on, which is pretty good, actually. It's definitely not a bad result. If I'm gonna give Razelvarg a better build as well, that will definitely help quite a bit. You're gonna see the build is not too insane on Razelvarg. Yes, he's at a decent speed, but the damage stats are just not too crazy. And I kind of like intentionally did that just to show you that he brings in a lot of damage without having the most disgusting gear, you know. 819 million damage. Razelvarg, Bugs Bunny, the Crazy Bunny, 250 million damage, guys. 250. Very, very solid. Feral 27, Padrake 3, Lydia 77, Val the Destroyer 263. Even though he died early, like 200 turns earlier, he still put in the highest amount of damage. He's just that good. I cannot take it away from him. He does have a much nastier build than Razelvarg. He has a 5-star blessing. He's empowered. Nargigante Archer, 195 million. Of course, some came from her raw damage and some came from the hacks. But you know what? Let me quickly show you the builds. How I mentioned, I have Razelvarg built on a 6-piece Merciless set and a Speed set. Now, the stats on him, guys, comparing it with other builds that I'm showcasing on the channel, they're really not crazy. Yes, I do have him pretty fast, but the rest of the stats are actually pretty weak. If I could get his attack higher, if I could get more crit damage, his damage will blow off the roof. So how you may notice, total stats on him: 39k HP, 6.1k attack, 2.3k defense, 277 speed, full crit rate, 259 crit damage, and I have 180 accuracy. With the increased accuracy buff and the decreased resistance on them is actually going to be enough to land the leech. Masteries on him, guys, we have offense and support. Helm Smasher as tier 6. Very important because War Master or Giant Slayer will be pretty irrelevant for Hydra. You won't be getting a lot of damage out of them. In terms of blessings, I have 1 star on him. Pretty useless. But you know what? It's better than nothing. I have Heaven Cast. If you have up to 5 star, I strongly suggest you to get Heaven Cast. If you don't, if you have a 6 star, no questions asked. Go for Crushing Grand. This will get you insane damage, okay? No questions asked. But you need to have a 6 star for this to really make it count on a Razelvarg. Lydia, she's on a curse set and a perception. Total stats: 75k HP, 3.6k attack, 3.5k defense, 296 speed, 97 crit, 188 crit damage, 400 accuracy. Masteries: offense and support 3. We have War Master as tier 6. She doesn't really deal that much damage, so I'm not too interested in giving her a Helm Smasher, for example, you know. But for the main damage dealers, it's actually really important. Then Val the Destroyer. I have him on a Savage, on a Zeal set, and 2 pieces of Merciless. I wish I would have him on a Merciless set, but I don't have any more pieces left that are going to give him decent stats. So 48k HP, 8.1k attack. The difference, right, from Razelvarg to him. 3.2k defense, 218 speed, full crit, 281 crit damage. He is +1. He has a 5-star blessing, so this boosts his damage a lot. But either way, if you're kind of like putting them on plain field, Val the Destroyer will get a bit of more damage than Razelvarg, but not by an insane amount, honestly. Feral the Barkhorn. 7-piece protection. Yes, I wish I would have a 9-piece protection. That will actually give him a lot of that will give a lot of extra damage to the rest of the champions, not to him. And total stats, you just want him fast, accuracy, 71k HP, 4.2k defense, 292 speed, 82 crit, 115 crit damage, 289 resistance, 305 accuracy. And masteries, we have very similar masteries like we had on Lydia, support and offense, guys. War Master as tier 6. Again, he's not really dealing damage, so because of it, he will pinch a bit of damage with the War Master. Then Padrake, Grand Oak Padrake. Relentless, a speed set, a couple of counterattack accessories, 56k HP, 2.6k attack, 4.5k defense, 300 speed, no accuracy, no resistance, no damage, because they are pretty irrelevant for this champion. He only attacks with a basic skill, which honestly is just not worth sacrificing survivability for damage. No masteries on him at the moment, but let's just say people would want to get masteries, right? So I would probably go on like this. You're not really gonna gain anything from here. I mean, not a lot though, but you're gonna go with the rapid response. So let's actually get all the scrolls. I thought that I've done it. Rapid response is gonna give you Mortar Meter. Yes, you can get Lord of Steel. Yes, you can get Cycle of Magic. Yes, you can get Lasting Gifts. Now, if you want to go on the offense tree, you can. If you want to go on the defense tree, again, you can. It doesn't really make much of a difference, considering that you might be using him for PvE in other areas as well, like versus other bosses. Getting War Master is not going to be a bad choice, you know. And you can always get Spirit Haste. You know, you're gaining extra speed if you have any dead allies. So those would be decent masteries for him. Then the Nargigante Archer. We have her on a Lethal, a Perception, a couple of Refresh accessories. I have 44k HP, 1.9k attack, 5k defense on the dot. Look at that. 247 speed, 99 crit rate, 234 crit damage, 386 accuracy. Now, probably some of you guys are wondering, Skratch, why are you not putting the Hydra battles on? The area bonuses do not work on the test server, okay? So it's going to be pretty irrelevant for me to show you that. My Great Hall has the Ignore defense fully maxed. I have 5 levels on speed. My crit damage is maxed. I have 6 levels on attack. That's about it. Nothing else that gives me a lot of extra stats on my champions. So because we are on the test server, this does not work, guys. That's why I did not showcase the stats with the area bonuses, okay? Just so you guys know, in case if you're wondering. But that was all for the video. Do me a favor, because I'm really curious to know. Let me know in the comments down below how many of you guys are using Razelvarg in the Hydra clan boss. In what team you're using him, and please tell me what damage are you getting from Bugs Bunny. How much damage he is doing in your team. But guys, that was all for this video. As usual, appreciate every single one of you guys watching till the end. Much love, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.